This is the Coffee Playdate podcast, and I am Dr. Olga Dengar, hospitalist, mom of 3 under 6, and a life coach for women physicians and professionals. On this podcast, I spotlight entrepreneurs and doctorpreneurs who are doing incredible things beyond traditional medicine. You'll hear the real-life stories behind their mindset shifts, the challenges they've overcome, and the practical advice that they share to support aspiring entrepreneurs on their own paths. Welcome to the Coffee Playdate podcast. I'm joined by Dr. Suneer Chander. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Olga.
It's a pleasure. I'd like to start off by asking, do you drink coffee?
I do.
And how do you like your coffee?
I drink 2 cups of coffee every morning when I wake up, and I have it black.
Black? Nothing in it?
Nothing in it. No sugar, no cream.
Wow, amazing. Good. We're going to play 2 games. The first one is called a rapid fire questions game. So I'm going to ask you to choose between one answer or the other. And you don't have to explain why. You just go with your gut instinct. Ready?
Okay.
First question, following the safe, known path or thinking outside the box?
Thinking outside the box.
Good. How about better drugs and treatments or better access to healthcare?
Better access to health.
And which one is more energizing for you, seeing patients or creating platforms?
Creating platforms.
And the last one, do you like mentoring physicians on how to get started in telemedicine or how to level up?
How to level up.
Perfect. So the next game is called Take a Sip. It's the same format, but this time we both answer. And if our answers match, then we take a sip from our coffee cup.
Let me get my drink ready. All right, I'm ready.
Okay. More medical licenses or more clarity about your vision?
More clarity about your vision.
Me too. Cheers. Which is harder to say no to, a new clinical opportunity or a new business idea?
A new business idea.
Me too. Cheers to that. If you had to choose one, would you rather have more time freedom or more geographical freedom at this point in your life?
More time freedom.
Well, I'd have to say more geographical freedom. There's so many places I want to be able to visit and haven't had an opportunity to do that yet.
So I think about this because I have a daughter who's in 8th grade. Like I could, but I would like her to complete high school in our geographic locations. And I want to spend time with her. So if I was having more geographic freedom, it would be likely without her.
Yep. Totally get that. That's great. And the last question here is, if you had to pick one word for your next chapter, would it be growth or simplicity?
Growth.
Growth. Me too. Cheers. So, Suneer, I'd love for our listeners to get to know you a little better. Can you tell us about yourself and the work that you do?
Yeah. So my name is Suneer Chander. I'm a trained ER physician. Had been working in the Boston area for about 20 years before the pandemic happened. And then I actually transitioned into telemedicine because I needed to like hustle and make some income during that. But I found that I started to love it. Every misconception that I had about telemedicine prior to jumping into it was immediately like gone from my brain. I really love the way, like I was always an early adopter of technology. So using technology to take care of patients in new innovative ways, it was really cool for me. And then, the ER is fun, it's exciting, but I never actually had that entrepreneurial itch scratched while working in the ER. So I didn't even know what I was missing until I was working in the space. I wound up growing my licensure from 1 to 51, so I'm licensed in every state in DC. And since then, I work for multiple clinical contracts. I serve as an advisor to multiple companies, and it's been really fun. Started a company called Air Physician Academy where we teach other doctors how to be a 51er, as we call it. And then also started a staffing company where we match doctors to jobs with digital health companies. It's been fun.
Yeah, that's a lot. And I love how you kind of created those 2 companies because they go hand in hand. You know, the physicians that do get trained and go through your program to become incredible telemedicine, either business owners or workers for other companies, they're able to now have that access to the people who need to hire them, who need their services. That's really great.
Exactly. Exactly.
I would love to hear about some of those early misconceptions that you had around telemedicine.
Oh, it's boring. It doesn't pay well. It's just seeing the same type of, patients that you see, in the hospital setting. It's just doing it remotely. You're gonna have to work more to make as much. Uh, you can't be fulfilled in the space. I think those are, like, the biggest misconceptions that I had.
And from, let's say, one or two of them, how have they been kind of dispelled, or how did you dispel those myths?
Well, so it's definitely not boring. So it's actually pretty exciting because you can see what the power of technology plus the power of being remote, how much more access you can give patients. And you're building, like you said earlier, what excites me more, building platforms or doing the clinical work. And the ability to really take care of large populations at scale and how you strategize to make that happen, that's super exciting to me. It's really what I find the most fun about another misconception that it's not fulfilling. The types of patients that you see in telemedicine may be more like lower risk type patients, like lower acuity type patients, but you're seeing them at scale. You're seeing so many more patients that have lower acuity problems that just simply don't have access to care. So you might not be dealing with the most complex issues, but you're just helping so many more people. And I find that surprisingly fulfilling.
Yeah, especially those patients who are in more rural areas around the country and they are not able to have that access to a physician. Maybe the closest hospital is like 3 hours away.
Yeah. I mean, we kinda joke about this, Olga. Like, in the past, like, when I was working in the brick and mortar setting, it was pretty rare that it happens, but patients saying thank you, like, it doesn't happen that much. And when telemedicine, it happens every single time I interact with the patient. It's because you're not only helping them, you're saving them time, and the alternative is, them going and sitting in a waiting room for a couple of hours.
Yeah, that's it's something that we take for granted, I think. Wow, that's amazing. So, Sunir, what mindset shift did you need to have as you were pursuing your entrepreneurial journey?
I suffer from a lot of imposter syndrome. Like, why am I doing this business? Why am I trying? Who am I to teach anyone? For 20 years, I just went to work. I saw patients. I was never an administrator. I had no interest in working in hospital administration. I figured that I should just concentrate on the things that I do well, what I know. And then when I started this business with my co-founder Takashi, there was about like 6 months to a year of like, should I even be doing this? What's like, who am I to even mentor anybody? Like I had to get over that.
Yeah, I think that's something that we always struggle with, especially being physicians, because this is an area of our expertise. We have to be very knowledgeable. We have to know everything about a specific diagnosis and the treatment plan. And when you're stepping into this new world, and even though you have all this vast knowledge with you, it's hard to make that transition and get over this imposter syndrome. So I can totally relate where you're coming from.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there a specific challenge you can think of that you had to overcome as you're growing your business? And how did you go about doing that?
The biggest challenge is I have a pretty big fear of public speaking. Like,
Really?
my heart rate goes up to the point where, like, I may run away, right? So, getting up on stage and talking to people was really hard for me. I started trying to use propanolol. I had fidget toys in my pocket. What I think the way that I'm still working on it, Olga. I don't know that I'm all the way there, but I think just repetition and doing it over and over again and making a mindset change where, hey, I actually am an expert here and I am providing value, and let me just go and help people understand what the opportunities are and how to navigate them. Really did help. I think I'm a couple years away. You're gonna laugh at me. I have 3 daughters and I want to make sure that I speak at their wedding. So my goal is to learn how to do that through my through my public speaking engagements here, so that I don't have to freak out when it's about them.
Well, I think you're a great public speaker. I don't see any problems with your speaking. I think you're doing amazing. So just keep up the good work.
Olga, but that's me and you right here, right? Like that I can do. One on one is not an issue. It's that when there's 50 people looking at me. Yes.
I'd like to learn a little bit more about your program at the Air Academy. Is it for all physicians, or do you focus on physicians from specific specialties like internal medicine, emergency medicine, family medicine? Because I feel like the physicians in those areas are probably the ones that lean more towards pursuing telemedicine.
That is correct. I'd say that about 70% of the doctors who join our program are that family medicine, emergency medicine, internal medicine, from those fields, but 30% are like specialists. We have, anesthesiologists, we have a cardiothoracic surgeon, we have, 2 neurologists, a couple of rheumatologists. The more procedural, type of, fields, people don't understand there is also an opportunity to take care of patients for those non-procedural aspects of your practice. Additionally, there are other opportunities to get double boarded that are actually not a huge barrier to get done. Like there's getting obesity medicine certified, lifestyle medicine, functional health. There's board certifications on all those. And then a lot of doctors are getting longevity medicine certified as well through like A4M or longevity doc. So there is definitely opportunity for everyone to participate. It's just a matter of whether the medicine actually excites you and you're interested in it.
Yeah, definitely. And the biggest question is, if a physician comes to you, it's like, why are they pursuing telemedicine? Why are they even interested in finding out more information about it? So what do you think are some of the reasons that you've seen physicians come into your program for?
So it's interesting. I think that I would say that we have physicians who have spanned the entire career spectrum. So people who are a couple years out of residency and people near the end of their career. And there's about, I'd say, 30%, maybe 40% are interested in going into telemedicine because they're feeling burnt out. I'd say about 10% are younger and they're seeing their colleagues, our older colleagues, getting burnt out and they want to manage that burnout and extend their career. So they're creating like a hybrid model. And then there's like a middle ground of people who are entrepreneurial, just want to try something different, and really kind of want more of a business experience. We've had like 5 doctors come up out of our program and start national telehealth practices. So that's sort of the gamut. There's no one person that's like the other person in our community, which I think is wonderful. It's great. We get a whole spectrum of goals and desires.
It's exciting. You have so many different people from all walks of life coming through your program, and I'm sure you're so proud of all of the success stories that you hear and
Oh my
see them.
gosh. Yes. Yeah, it is amazing to see. Uh, I try not to take credit because it's not me. Everyone there. I don't know if I said that right, but like, uh, I really am glad I get to participate in their journey, and see how they've taken the knowledge that they've gained, and are really trying to affect the lives of patients, and then come back, and they're so grateful. They come back and always come and help as alumni, help the new class or the new community. It is really fun to be a part of.
Amazing. Now, I wanted to ask this question. Can you share a moment where you created an unforgettable, extraordinary experience, maybe for your team, your clients, or your loved ones, that took a little bit of extra expenses, but you were still able to efficiently manage the majority of your budget on the back end?
Okay. So after every cohort of people that come through our program, we do a retreat at the end. And we really try to make that special. We want to make sure that doctors understand that they are special. So we put on a great event. It is I would say a premium event. And we really try to not focus on working while we're there. So there isn't stuffy conference rooms. and we really make it about networking. It is amazing to me that on the last retreat, someone came up to me and said, "Hey, I learned so much on this retreat." And I thought to myself, huh, I taught you nothing. There was nothing that I did to teach you. It was all about connection and learning from each other. And we just do a lot to curate that environment to make it really special for everyone.
Is there a specific activity that you do at the retreat that's, like, super fun for everybody and they love it, like a game or, I don't know, water slide or something?
I could tell you a few things we've done. One year we went and did goat yoga. Uh, we did indoor skydiving. Let's see. We went to an NBA basketball game. We went to a Lakers game. It was all pretty fun. The entire time, everyone was socializing and wondering what each other's goals were and how they were going to implement their plans and giving each other advice. People heard from others. They considered things that they didn't even think about and then took those learnings and applied that to their goals. So at the end of the day, it's just putting like minded people in the same room, making them feel comfortable, making them feel special, and then they help each other out.
That's amazing. Yeah, community is so important, especially in the physician world, because sometimes you feel like you're alone out there. And even as an entrepreneur, you're like, I'm doing all these things, I'm chugging along, but is it really making a difference? Like, is anyone
Yeah.
doing the same stuff? Is it working? And, it's good to bounce ideas off each other once you do find your tribe.
Yep. Yep.
So, what is one piece of advice that you would give someone who may be starting out in a similar space?
Honestly, it's just take the first step and try to get your first win. It is okay if you don't get your first win for a while and you fail a couple of times, but you got to actually get over any fear of perfection before moving forward. I think the hardest step is taking that first one. So if you don't procrastinate and do that right away, success follows pretty soon after that.
Yeah, that first action step is really the hardest, and it's the thing that I think people fear the most because you're really putting yourself out there. You're taking the biggest risk that you've probably ever taken by starting a new business or doing something that's outside of your clinical duties. But once you do it, once you overcome that hump, then it's you kind of build momentum. Like things just start flowing and you start seeking out new opportunities, new affiliations, new partnerships, and really thinking about ways to grow your business. And I love to ask my guests, is there one book recommendation that you would give to our listeners today who may be aspiring entrepreneurs?
Yeah, so I just read a great book, and I made my whole team read it. It's Unreasonable Hospitality by Will Guidara. I highly recommend that one. I'm a big foodie. I love going out and eating. It doesn't have to be fine dining, but it has to be good food. And just having a business book that also incorporated learnings from the restaurant world. It was fun for me to read.
I love that book. One of my mentors recommended it. And actually, that's where the question comes in about going above and beyond for someone. It's from Will Guidara's book, Unreasonable Hospitality, talking about that 95-5 rule, where you give the 5% to this extraordinary, memorable experience while budgeting the other 95% efficiently. There's so many great lessons there. The book, because it is in a different industry, it's in the food industry and the restaurant business, it's interesting to see that because you're always kind of focused on the field that you're in, whether it's being a physician or whether it's building a specific business. And it's interesting to just see a different perspective, but still be able to apply the same principles and create similar systems that are put in place and use that knowledge to grow your business and really provide value for your customers.
Yep. I think that just a simple thing. I mean, it doesn't even have to be about business. It's just I think the biggest takeaway that I took away from the book, and it's like so simple, is that make sure that everyone you interact with understands that you think that they are important, and you should be authentic about it. And if you can do that, it's probably best for your soul, regardless if it's good for your business, right? So I think all these principles really work well together for you being a good human as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. One thing I always like to think about is how can I make the person that I'm working with or I'm interacting with feel cared for? And that book really kind of pushed me to think of that question more often. So one thing that I like to do for our lovely housekeeper is make her a cappuccino every time she comes in the morning. And she loves that. She takes videos of it, she puts it on WhatsApp, and we have like these cinnamon sprinkles that she puts different shapes of the cinnamon sprinkles on the cup. It shows, when you care for someone and you do something nice, they really
Yep.
appreciate it.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much, Suneer, for being with us today on the Coffee Playdate podcast. We had a great conversation and you've given a lot of amazing insights. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Olga. It was great being here.
Thanks for tuning in to the Coffee Playdate podcast. This episode is designed to help you stay driven, aligned, build momentum, and take action on your entrepreneurial journey. That's my Dhamma method in motion. If you enjoyed this conversation, hit subscribe and share it with one other person who you think would benefit from it. And when you're ready to live life on your own terms, book a discovery call at coacholgamd.com to see if one-on-one coaching with my Dhamma method is your next move.